Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. If you don't know, my name is Andy Wilburn. I'm a 48-year-old law enforcement officer from Southwest Virginia. I invite you, if you found your way to this page and you're interested in weight loss like me, I've started this video series to track my progress, to help motivate me and hold me accountable. And I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself before I started, setting goals and, telling you kind of what my plan is. I've done the roller coaster ride like many of you that are watching. I've tried the fad diets, I've tried the supplements, I've tried anything and everything. And if you're on this page right now, if you're watching this video, then you probably have too. Right now I'm 5'8", I'm 280 pounds, heavier than I've ever been. The older you get, of course, the harder it is to try and lose weight, keep weight off. There are so many frustrations that I can tell you about. I know my family's frustrated with me. I know my wife's frustrated and concerned. I'm unable to do things that I used to be able to do, and it's been a progression. Several years ago, I got in really good shape and competed in over 100-mile bike race, which I'm really, really proud of. And at the end of the race, I felt a twinge in my back, and for weeks, I tried to just, figured it was overworked from the bike race. This was the most rewarding thing physically I've ever done, and probably the stupidest thing is, I lost down to about 216 pounds. I worked with a personal trainer. I rode with a friend of mine who I'm sure I'll talk about along this journey, Louis Heslop, that motivated me, that taught me cycling, that just didn't give up on me. He was the most motivational person I've ever met, the most inspiring person I've ever met. And he passed away last year, and I miss him dearly. So it took me several weeks, months, and there was some kind of muscular impingement in my spine that I had to go to a couple different people to work on. The guy that ended up fixing my back, or at least releasing the knot or the tension that was in there, was a bodybuilder. He was so strong. It hurt a lot, but it was effective. So, and then I just had excuses because I'd start putting weight on, and I stopped riding. I've still got my bike. I love my bike. I've got a lot of money in my bike, and my goal is to get back on my bike. Since that time, I've had trouble with my knees for a really long time. I've go to a knee specialist. He said I have jumper's knees. That's from years, believe it or not, of playing volleyball and being extremely active. So he told me that no matter what, you can't jog, you can't go do stairs. I used to run stairs to try and stay in shape. You can cycle, but you need to not stand up on the pedals when you're going up hills, and that's part of the fun part of cycling, is going up the mountain so you can go down the other side. So I've had trouble with my knees. I've had chronic migraines for years. I have tinnitus, the ringing in the ears. I have small tears in both my shoulders. So I was told no weightlifting, weightlifting for my knees anyway. So I've just kind of sunk in this, I don't like to call it depression, but I'm just in a rut. I just need to kick myself in the butt. And I realize, I've been studying a lot of motivational leadership, self-help type books, articles, videos, I just watched the TEDx one on, putting your mind to making sure you get enough sleep and eating right and setting goals. And, I decided to do this video series a couple weeks ago, but of course I've struggled getting started. I'm in a motel room in Nashville, Tennessee at some training. I'm a law enforcement officer. And I thought, it's about time to get going. There are so many different ways to get started. I'm going to pick my way, and then I'm going to share that with you. But I wanted to get the introduction out of the way. I wanted to tell you that I connect with anybody that's watching this. If it's one person, if it's 100, if it's 1,000, if it's 1,000,000. Food is an addiction. There were so many people that could just eat anything, get away with it. They can drink soda, they can, their metabolism just chews it up. My son's like that. He's tiny, he can eat anything he wants to. Several years ago, I watched both my parents die. Literally. My dad died about 9 years ago, and I actually made it to the house in time to take turns trying to give him CPR to revive him. Dad had had at least 2 heart attacks, and they determined the cause of death was heart related. 2 years later, I get a call from my sister who lived with my mom that she wasn't breathing very well. So she lived just a couple miles from me, so I hustled down and had my sister dial 911. I immediately recognized, I don't know if it's based on my training and experience. I've seen an awful lot of people in cardiac arrest and that are struggling, breathing. And I recognized the mom's was really struggling, so I had her dial 911. My sister did. When they got there and put her on the gurney is when I watched her die. They put her in an ambulance, they worked her. They got a heartbeat back, but Mom never regained consciousness. A few days later, we were forced with the decision to unplug her and watch her die. But I'll always believe she died right there in front of me. That's both my parents. I'm one of 6 kids. They've all struggled with their weight, some more than others. And, I look around and I see the friends that we hang around with, me, my brothers and sisters. It seems like so many of them are overweight. I thought, we've just adjusted. We just buy bigger pants and bigger shirts. And, we make excuses why when we get together, we eat pizza and hot dogs and hamburgers and French fries and potato chips. And, big family likes to eat. So, of course, we eat bad stuff. There are things that, gosh, I was changing last night and took my socks off and struggled with it. And I thought, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous to let yourself get this bad. And so tonight, as I'm sitting here in this hotel room, I just had Domino's pizza because I'm too lazy to go out and get anything. I ordered Domino's, and I sit here and I look at myself, and I've got this shirt on that says "Work and Sacrifice." That was my friend Louis saying. Louis died on a bike. He was the fittest human I've ever met in my life. And he was, mid-50s. He was just a machine. And basically he died of a heart condition. He overworked his heart. So, I'm not sitting here pledging that I'm going to, start running marathons, and I'm not going to start, riding 50 miles on my bike. But the important thing is we start. This is my starting point. I've tried all the weight loss efforts. I've tried low carb. I've tried Atkins, basically same thing. Weight Watchers. there's just so many. And if that's something that helps you stay focused, if you pick one, then pick one. And let's do this together. Let's start this journey together. I'll post videos very often. It's important that we keep a notebook of our activities, what we eat, your starting weight. Do your starting weight first thing in the morning, totally nude, so there's no excuses. Pound here, pound there. That's your starting weight. Write it in your book. Don't be upset if it takes you a few days to start seeing some weight loss, but you'll feel it quicker than you see it. And what I would suggest is that you try to get a group together to take this journey with you. People that you trust, people that be supportive, people that won't be tempting, people that won't belittle you or make fun of you and say, why don't you just eat better? Why don't you just stop drinking Coke? Why don't you not eat sweets? It sounds so easy. I've known people that have stopped drinking soda and lost 30 pounds. That didn't happen for me. I stopped drinking soda for 6 months. Didn't lose a pound. I was like, of course not. So I have to be extremely disciplined. I have to be focused. And I thought, if I know that I've got to post a video, and whether anybody's watching or not, I post it out there, maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe somebody will see it and they'll say, okay, I'm going to start now. I'm going to follow this guy, see how he does, hold him to it, watch the changes. My wife always says when I start to lose weight, it's right here first, right on my neck. So I hope that's right. I'm going to give it a couple days. I'll get back on here, and I'll have picked, what I want to focus on. But the important thing is to start now. I've got my notebook. I'm going to make notes about how I feel, about the struggles that I have, whether my headaches are worse or better, how my knees are. I'm just sitting here thinking, tonight I got up and walked to the door to get the pizza, and my knees hurt so bad. It's time for more injections in my knees. And, maybe the weight loss will help the knees, maybe it won't. Sleep apnea, severe. Like every time I go to the sleep doctor, my sleep doctor says, you're going to die if you don't do something. So, put this stupid mask on, which I hate with all my heart. I would love to be at the point where I didn't need that anymore. I would love to be at the point where I could go do the things that I feel like doing, I want to do. I live in Southwest Virginia. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can't remember the last time I hiked up to Mountain Lake or Cascades, or there's so many beautiful places around here to walk, and there's just no excuse. So it's the end of October 2017. It's time to get going. I hope you join me. Even if you see this video series 3 years from now, I hope you'll follow them and find support and try to make some changes in your life before it's too late. Because I've worked a lot of cases. I've seen a lot of dead people based on my job in law enforcement. And I've seen a lot of dead fat people, and they die quicker because they're fat. And that's just something we have to make a commitment to change that. So I hope you'll post comments. I hope you'll be encouraging. I'm not going to respond to any trolls. We want to encourage each other and do things for each other. Even if it's one person at a time. So I hope you'll join me. Thank you.